Good day to everybody. Good day to everybody. My name is Damien Shell, your licensed funeral director and your licensed insurance agent. So today, I'm coming to you today to talk about a topic that is common amongst funeral business, which is GoFundMe versus life insurance. And so I just want to give some details on the GoFundMe and just a little bit about life insurance. So GoFundMe. GoFundMe is considered a crowdfunding account. What does that mean? Crowdfunding is pretty much where you put out a scenario, a situation that you're going through, or maybe that you're trying to sponsor or support. And in essence, once you share it, people from all over who feel like they want to contribute, they donate funds. Those funds eventually at the end of the campaign or crowdfunding goes to whatever the cause is or goes to that person. So today, what I want to discuss with you is, in essence, information about, to a certain degree, why GoFundMe is not your only option and is not the best option and is not a great option when it comes to life insurance and when it comes to funeral service. Yes, I do know that when funeral services happen, sometimes death is unexpected or death occurs. Death is going to occur regardless. So that's not unexpected. That's expected, but the time frame of when death occurs is not guaranteed. There is no time frame. It can happen at any given moment. And sometimes people are not prepared. And GoFundMe is good when those cases happen. But there is efforts and ways in which where you don't have to go through that every time. And what I mean by that is sometimes with your GoFundMes, you don't raise all the money that's needed for funeral services. Sometimes people are not able to meet that need and meet the financial goal of the GoFundMe or the GoFundMe account. So sometimes they run a little short. So in that instance, people are having to come out of pocket with money and whatnot. And I just want to relate to you the reasons why I'm coming to you today in regards to talk a little bit about life insurance is because life insurance is a financial tool that can be used to offset those costs when it comes to funeral arrangements and etc. So say for instance, somebody passes away, they come in and they come and speak to the funeral director, and then they come out and say, well, we don't have any funds and we're trying to raise the money. You've got some funeral directors that they're not going to accept that as a formal payment or a promissory note because people have messed that up in the past. You've got funeral directors that may not want to even deal. And they're out there. There are people out there. But the difference is when you have some form of payment, things can be different. And in essence, what I'm saying is insurance, some type of insurance. The reason why is because insurances, again, can sometimes guarantee payment. What I mean sometimes is depending on the stipulations of your policy, it all depends. There's a lot of factors that we cannot discuss all today. There's just so many of them. But the key factors and what you want to remember is life insurance is to cover funeral expenses. That's one big time thing that a lot of people get insurance for is for funeral expenses. And funeral expenses can range anywhere from about $8,000 to $12,000. The reason why I put that big range out there is because a lot of times people forget the cemetery cost alone can be anywhere from $2,000 to upwards of $10,000, depending on if you go in the ground or if you go in the mausoleum. That right there, I'll explain to you later down the line, the differences and all that stuff. But back to the insurance piece. Insurance can cover that if you get the right policy and if you do the right things with it. So for instance, right now, prime example, I sell a lot of policies, and when people ask me the average cost to buy a policy, I tell them based on what the funerals cost now and what they could inflate to over the years. I recommend people now take you out between $12,000 in insurance to cover a funeral alone. Take that out and budget that out alone, because of the fact that you don't know when death could occur. However, you need to be prepared for if it occurs 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. You need to kind of be prepared for the inflation and the cost of funeral service then. 12 is a minimum. 20 years from now, funeral services traditionally could be $15,000, $16,000 easily. We don't know yet. So that's one benefit. But the other benefit that I want to discuss with you is beyond funeral service. There are many more benefits to having life insurance. And what I want you to bring focus in on today is focusing on other avenues of insurance besides just dealing with death and dying. So a lot of times people do not pay attention to the insurance riders. Well, what are insurance riders? Insurance riders are the riders that can be attached to your policy to offer more benefit. A lot of times either living benefit or extra insurance on a loved one, such as your spouse or your children. But to list some of those riders, you have critical illness riders. What was a critical illness rider? Say, for instance, you're diagnosed with a terminal illness like cancer, or it's not even that, or it's not terminal like you're going to die. It's terminal to where you've got to go through treatments and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Those type of riders exist to where while you're going through your illness, they would be paying you from your insurance policy while you're living to offset costs while you're living. Other things that exist, disability income rider. It's not guaranteed that we're not going to go on our job and possibly become disabled. Who knows? We could walk out the door today and have a car wreck. There's so many crazy things happening to the point where we could lose our jobs due to being disabled at any age. The goal of disability rider income is to offer you income for whatever the policy allots for, whatever is in the clause. Usually the average is 2 years. So in 2 years, sometimes it takes people 2 years to even get Social Security disability benefits. So adding those little riders are a few cents a month, but they can offer so many different benefits. There's benefits such as waiver disability payments, where if you become disabled, your life insurance premium is paid forever. You've got different things on those policies where they benefit you while you're living. And unfortunately, we can't cover all that today. But my thing to share with you mainly is insurance can be a guarantee of payment. It can take care of a lot of things. It can take care of your family after the funeral. We forget that even though the funeral may cost $12,000, we still forget that we have to live after the funeral. The family has to live after the funeral. They have to live. So as a loved one, do you want to leave your family hanging with a debt, with all these different debts, such as a house payment, car payment, business payments, all those different things that you've had to pay when you were living? What about your spouse and what about your children after you're gone? We set a goal for $10,000 on GoFundMe and we might get $4,000, which still leaves $6,000 that somebody else got to pay, which may not ever get paid. And then you've got debt left behind for the children, for your family. Come on. Investing this little amount could do a lot of protection for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, for anybody. And it could pay off a lot of things. Just think, if you're a young father or mother and you left here before your child went to college, wouldn't you be able to, even though we may not know after we're gone, but in the spirit realm, depending on what your faith is, wouldn't you want to be able to see your child not have to worry after you're gone? You don't want to have to, they shouldn't have to worry about paying for college. That's what life insurance can do. It could benefit your child. It could benefit them going to school. It could benefit the house being paid for, or the house being able to be continuously kept in the family. It could also build legacy wealth. We talk about legacy building and building businesses, but we never talk about building the legacy wealth in families. And we have to do that. We have to do that. Even if it's a nickel dime policy where it's $1,000, $2,000 here, $3,000 here, guess what? They add up over time. You should be talking to your insurance agents, whoever you got your car insurance through. Find out how cheap it could be to add on a little life insurance policy for yourself, for your children, for your loved ones. There are options out there, and we've got to take advantage of them, because GoFundMe may not be here forever. GoFundMe may not always be able to meet the goal of what we need it to meet. GoFundMe is not the only alternative. Sometimes we have to invest back into ourselves in order to be able to secure a future for either ourselves and to keep us financially intact, just in case anything was to happen, because we don't know what could happen to us. So we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our families. And most of all, we have to make sure that we secure a legacy. We have to educate one another. And that's what I'm here to do today. I'm not knocking GoFundMe, not knocking it, because of the fact that in the healthcare, there's people that cannot afford to pay their medical bills. It's good for that. It's good for things when death does occur unexpectedly and we don't have the full amount of money. Yes, that's GoFundMe works in hand sometimes. But for ones that can do it, invest those little $5, $10, $20, $30 a month and get yourself protected. If it's not, if you don't want to do it for you, if you don't want to do it because you think you're going, it's reminded of death all the time, think about your children. Think about your loved ones who going to be left behind having to struggle because you failed to pre-plan on the earthly side. Hey, I'm just calling like I'm seeing it. We've got to prepare and we've got to stay educated on these things. These little investments will go a long way. Regardless on who you are, take the time to educate yourself and read things. This is just the beginning of this topic because of the fact that there's so many avenues of insurance. I can't cover it in the little 15-minute segment that is allowed, but I want to share with you just a little piece of the business, of the benefit. I've been doing this now for approximately 7 years, and I still learn to this day on ways to take insurance and be able to invest it and be able to use it to my benefit for in the event of something happening. Because of the fact that you would hate to, one day you wake up and you're fine, then the next day you were told you're sick, or you wake up, or you don't wake up because you're in a coma. While all this stuff is going on, we don't know what's going to happen day to day. So we have to be prepared for the future of the unknown. And this is one way of doing it. We can't wait until something happens, then hit GoFundMe, and when we don't meet our goals, then what? We have to be able to start educating ourselves to guarantee us a future. I plan on going live here soon. Again, any questions, please feel free to comment any questions that you have on here, because there's many questions that could be asked. Again, soon we're going to be going live with some of the companies. We've already got things set up to where we're going to be doing interviews with other companies, other agents. So again, today, I implore you to here soon reach out to your insurance agent, whoever that may be. You can reach out to me, ask questions, get yourself educated, and become financially prepared for the unknown, and also provide protection for your family, your loved ones, your children, anybody that you care about. Protect them in the event something happens to them or it happens to you. So that way you or somebody else won't have to go through a financial disparity. This is Damien. Have a good weekend. I'll talk with you later.